If you ever thought false flag was a term used by conspiracy theorists, well, welcome to the real world. This is Mike Cernovich, CERNOVICH.com, here to talk to you about a false flag campaign that is 100% true, actually. So false flag is a term that has a certain connotation where people will say things. They'll say everything is a false flag, which is, of course, absolutely silly and just untrue. But there was an actual false flag disinformation campaign directed at Alabama voters, and it's not even debatable, actually. So this is very important. Buckle up, buckle into your seats, and let's see what is going on. Let's see what is going on here. This is important. So let's go. Jeff Giese has the exclusive report. They have the exclusive report. Jeff Giese does. So we're going to read from that live. False flag disinformation campaign. This is all true stuff, by the way. Disinformation campaign caught. So Jeff Giese has the big scoop. So for background, because I don't want to blow too many minds here, because this is all true. From background, there was a fellow who studied disinformation. He was an expert on disinformation, and he was caught spreading disinformation. And we're going to see exactly how he did it. So again, before people, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, before you call me a conspiracy theorist, maybe actually read the reporting and, have a little meditation, a little namaste before you call me a conspiracy theorist, because here's what has actually happened. If you're on Periscope, I'm reading now. Internet billionaire Reid Hoffman apologizes for funding a group tied to disinformation in Alabama race. So this is being reported by the Washington Post here. So this is not, so if you're a liberal, that you don't really have anything to argue. Internet billionaire Reid Hoffman apologized on Wednesday for funding a group linked to a highly disturbing effort that spread disinformation during last year's Alabama special election. This is kind of a big deal here. So let's click on the old link here. Let's see what we have. Let's see what we have going on here, and what is actually going on. Because again, this is all true. Researcher whose firm wrote report on Russian interference used questionable online tactics during the Alabama race. So again, this is all verifiable stuff here. This is, none of this is debatable, really. None of this is up for debate. So Reid Hoffman, a billionaire investor, right? A billionaire investor was caught. This is, again, I'm being quite precise because the fake news media, they always want to lie about me. A billionaire investor, Reid Hoffman, was caught spreading disinformation to manipulate an election. So what we're going to do is we are going to read the report. So again, I'm just showing you all right now the Washington Post article. I'm going to show you all now the Washington Post article about this, so that you can just judge for yourself. And you can see here that this is all 100% true here. So what he did was he created false flag bot accounts. He bought Russian bot accounts. This is actually quite amazing. So here's what he did. Let's go ahead and read this. We orchestrated an elaborate false flag operation that planted the idea that the Moore campaign was amplified on social media by a Russian botnet. Jonathan Morgan did. So here's how the scam worked. He bought Russian bots for Roy Moore. He's part of this Hamilton 68 disinformation group. And then he leaked to the media that they caught Russian bots following Roy Moore. And then there was all these articles, oh my God, the Russians want Roy Moore to win. Russian bots are following Roy Moore. I mean, this is literally what they did. It's diabolical and also quite impressive from a purely Nietzschean, cynical, will to power world. So Jonathan Morgan, this is back in November 2017. Russian trolls tracked by Hamilton 68 are taking an interest in the Alabama Senate race. What a surprise. We orchestrated an elaborate false flag operation that planted the idea that the Moore campaign was amplified on social media by the Russian botnet. So this was reporting that came out this week. And then Facebook has suspended his account. So isn't that fascinating? That's what they do. He bought Russian bots, had them follow Roy Moore, and then he used his expertise to say, look, all these Russians are following Roy Moore. Clearly they want him to win. And then you find out in a report that got leaked, it was a false flag operation. So who's the conspiracy theorist now? Who's the conspiracy theorist now when they admitted that they filed a disinformation campaign? So this is mind-blowing stuff here. So, but it went way deeper than this. So let's go read the official report. Hold on. Let's read the official report from Jeff Giese. Breaking. Here's the after-action report from the Alabama disinformation campaign. So what they did was really, they created fake Facebook pages pretending to be Republicans to divide and conquer the vote to get a write-in vote candidate. So they go, in September through December 2017, they ran a digital messaging operation to influence the outcome of the Alabama Senate race. They micro-targeted special Alabama districts to suppress unpersuadable votes. Look, voter suppression. Voter suppression. By the way, if you're on Periscope, we're having some glitches here, so you'll have to watch this either on YouTube or Facebook. So haven't we been told that voter discretion is like really bad? Oh my God, voter suppression, terrible thing, threat to democracy. You can't suppress voters. Well, they admitted it. They suppressed unpersuadable Republicans, who they called hard R's. That's funny because hard R has another connotation. And moderate Republicans by advocating for write-in candidates. Their goal was to move 50,000 votes. We targeted 650,000 Alabama voters with a combination of personal accounts, astroturfing, automated social media amplification, and targeted advertising. So they admit the whole thing. Here's some highlights. We targeted Alabama suburban college-educated Republican women to persuade them not to vote with their husbands. According to Washington Post exit polling, Jones made particularly large gains among white women, and most women independents believe the allegation is more. They established a Facebook page, which is authentic enough to voters that a write-in candidate reached out and asked for an endorsement. So again, Jeff Giese has the full report. This is kind of a blockbuster, really. This doesn't have Russia, but this is actually real election meddling. The real astroturfing, voter suppression, everything we're told is bad by the left is actually doing. They provided major news outlets with 4 million social signals indicating that anti-Moore articles were popular, which generated artificial ad revenue for those publications. Okay, so let me explain this to you. They would, if an anti-Roy Moore article was published, they would make it go viral, and then that would incentivize media outlets to write more hate articles, right? So they were paying for clicks. They were paying for advertisement for the Washington Post. They spent $100,000 and experimented with many of the tactics. This is pretty amazing what they did. This is all very detailed stuff. What they did, how they targeted people, the bots. Here's what they're doing. Here's what the left is doing now. And this can no longer be denied. Now, the left is buying Russian bots of people. So I'll give you the summary, right? The left, this is not disputable. This is not debatable. The left is buying bots, buying Russian bots, having those bots follow Trump supporters, and then telling the media to report on the Russian bot accounts that the far left purchased without disclosing that they bought the bots. It's quite diabolical. This is something that Alex Jones, in his wildest dreams, could not have concocted this story. Well, I mean, maybe he could have. Maybe he could have. Maybe he could have. But this is the level. This is the level that they are going at. This is the level that they are going to. They are buying bots, right? They are buying bots and then telling the media, oh, bots follow these accounts. You know, you ought to write a story on that. That's what this page here is. Now, Bloomberg report starts raising questions about Roy Moore's social media activities. This is incredible. This is incredible. They literally, I'm sorry, you know, if you're a true believer, if you're not as cynical as I am, then you would be mortified. I mean, this is appalling. This is really, if you're a true believer in democracy, and if you're what the left pretends, if you are what the left, right? If you are what the left pretends to believe, the right is, you would be mortified. You would be absolutely mortified by these tactics. You would be mortified. But the left doesn't actually care about this. They're perfectly happy with the dirty tricks and the fake news and the smears and the lies and everything else. They're perfectly fine with it as long as it's not happening to them, as long as they're the ones perpetrating it. Suddenly they care. So this is incredible, actually. You really do need to read this report. It's at the front of my timeline. Voter suppression is real. Election meddling is real. A billionaire investor funded this. It's only going to become more intense. So what is the moral of this story? Don't ever believe anything you read about Trump in the media, because it could just be fake. They could be created, because there's always these people, they go, oh, look at Trump supporters, they're so mean. It could be bots. It could be that the far left buys bots, and then these bots make the threats, and then it gets blamed on Trump or his supporters. So don't ever believe anything ever that the fake news media says about Trump or any Trump supporter or even really any conservative. It could just be a false flag disinformation campaign. That's where we're at right now. It's all fake. The news is all fake. Everything you read about Trump is fake. Everything you read about his supporters is fake. Even the bots that follow people are being paid for by far left-wing billionaires who want to manipulate you, suppress voters, and essentially they want to destroy America and destroy American democracy. Thanks for watching. I'm Mike Cernovich, CERNOVICH.com. You can find me there. If you're on Facebook, like this, like the page. If you're on YouTube, like the video, hit the subscribe button, and for the hat trick, turn on notifications.